Does it have $1 million vibe? Or...
With enough thrust, you can fly a brick.
Location, 1980 Gallery.
In studio, podcast.
Hey guys, welcome back to Location 1980's Art Podcast. I'm your host, Jesse Fortune, my co-host, Eric Ringman, and our special guest tonight, Reign Maka.
What's going on?
And Plank.
And Plank. Always got to include Plank.
Eric.
And everyone who's wondering what are they talking about right now, you gotta get on the video version of this podcast.
Yeah, if you're just listening, Plank is a plank of wood.
He is a piece of wood. He goes to every show and festival with me. He'll be actually 11 years old on Halloween this year, so...
All right, we'll talk.
He's seen a lot of music, but enough about Plank. It's always about Plank.
Yeah. we'll definitely have time to get to Plank. Welcome to the podcast, Reign. It's been a minute. We haven't had an episode since the all-women's...
Yeah, the Feminine Undertones show.
Feminine Undertones is dope. I think
which was a big banger. We took quite a break.
It was a good show.
Yeah, I think Katya was the last guest. Since then, we just did a show called The Art of Wax, hosted by our friend Rishi, which should be coming up on one of these future episodes.
Yes, indeed.
Right now, we're sitting in the gallery. We're at Location 1980. We're actually in the gallery with a few pieces behind us. And Reign's our special guest. Reign's also our resident DJ here at Location 1980. But we go way back, Reign. I mean, you grew up, we're here in Costa Mesa in Southern California, but you grew up in Newport, right?
Grew up in Newport. Yeah, I met you about 20 years ago. So I have a saying in life that life almost feels scripted sometimes because it's just like how it ends up being. But it's like, of course, 20 years down the road, I would be the one to have a studio here over the course of the summer.
That's great, man.
And
we've had Location 1980 for 14 years, and like you put it in your application when you're trying to get one of the studios, you're like, well, unlike anybody else, I've actually seen the entire place develop the entire time. So you've got to watch this day one from afar and near, from like coming to shows and doing shows. But also too, yeah, I mean, I guess I met you when you're like 10 or 11 or whatever.
Probably 10. Let's call it 10. Just keep it easy.
Yeah.
I just did my 30th here last year, so, 20-year process right there.
When I started discovering my full-time art game, I was living on Newport Beach, Balboa Peninsula. And one of the homies had these Groms running around. They were all 2-year-old kids. Like, who are these kids? And the D was like, oh, that's my son, Reign. And then so Reign was one of the little kids that was kicking it with us. There's a lot of summers of fun. But you guys were like 10 years old, just out there boogie boarding.
Boogie boarding, playing video games, and that was it. What else do you do when you're young? Yeah, when you're that young.
I think it's awesome. So tell me, so you're local now, and you've done quite a bit of traveling on the DJ scene, following your music and making beats and entertaining people. But like, when you were just local growing up, like, what were your like? Did you? Because I remember, like you're saying, you used to boogie board and play.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird. Like, I never thought in my life, like, I always had random instruments I'd pick up as a child, and like never really committed to one, or like even just like listening to music. My style's always changed from like growing up with reggae and then rap music, and then like I was super late to the EDM like bubble.
Late, like
as far as like all my friends were already going to festivals and shows and all that. And, like, I was refusing. I was like, nah, that's not music. Nah.
How is it? Do you think that's because of, you mentioned you had both, I do know both your parents, and I'm pretty sure you used to do some, like, reggae on the river stuff when you were a little kid.
Yeah, I mean, they took me to those festivals early on.
Do you think that then obviously influenced your taste alone, but also what you considered was music or being a musician? Or?
I don't think so. I mean, it probably just gave me more of a background, but honestly, it probably just helped my like festival awareness subconsciously, even just being able to do the festival stuff like Burning Man and all the stuff, because it's work. It's fun and it's work.
Artwork.
All of it, all the things.
Let's go, Eric. I had the pleasure of knowing Reign for the last 20 years, and a lot of the guests that we've brought on so far, we are trying to expand and bring on other artists, but we have such a tight or ever-growing family at 1980. We've been privileged to just keep reaching out to local talent and having people on. But in this case, me and Reign do go way, way back.
Yeah.
Would you have any specific or off the cuff questions for Reign for when he was back in the day 10 or preteen here, growing up in Newport Beach.
Any age, Eric.
Yeah.
He's looking at.
I've evolved every chunk of time. I got stories for all of it.
I know. I'm looking into him right now, like I'm talking to the Oracle and looking into the abyss at the same time. It's like it's beautifully entrancing, but I'm also like, shit, what am I about to get into? Man, so it's just you, right? Only child?
I'm an only child, yeah.
Okay, me too. So, and whenever people hear that about me after knowing me for a little bit, they go, "Oh,
I guess that's a thing."
That explains a lot.
Yeah, I guess it's a thing.
You get that a lot too, yeah.
Yeah, but my cousin's like my brother, so
okay.
He was raised with us, but yeah,
so
only child
you
for
said,
sure.
So you got the outdoorsy element. You're hanging out on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
You're also into the video game culture. That probably put you into like the internet culture at a relatively early
So
age.
it helped with
too.
the computer skills to do the things I do today too. Yeah.
Was that like a method by which you started to learn a lot more about new music and different kinds of music and trends and stuff? Was that a pipeline for you?
I mean, yeah. I mean, some of the earliest, before I even knew what EDM, the genre was, like you would just see that music exposed on like video game, maybe montages or whatever. But then like flash forward at 5 years later, you like start to figure out like, oh, that's drum and bass, or like
all
a
these
particular,
sub-niches of it.
all the genres, and like it's just been around, but like now it's all been over the last like 10 years starting to really pick up as far as music.
So I'm curious where the pivot was for you, because you said you started out like dismissive, like that's not music. And now you produce what I would call EDM. Would you call that's what you do?
Oh yeah, it's ED. Well, EDM's the umbrella term, and
You're
then
more bass?
I'm more on the bass side, and like to break it down, there's bass, like bass music, dubstep, drum and bass. We'll put it over there, and then there's like more the house techno vibe, and that's like its own kind of.
So tell me about the turn where you went from like rejecting it to not only endorsing but being a maker.
So yeah, I mean, like right around time, like end of high school, early college, like I had friends that would go to shows. They'd take me to shows, but those
You went to college?
OCC.
Okay.
Yeah, OCC.
Word. Shout out to OCC.
I love OCC. It's the best.
All right, go ahead, man.
Anyways,
What were you listening to then, like as far as being a fan?
my friends would take me out to the shows that they would like, but it wasn't like quite my vibe. It was more on the house tip, or like more just like kind of like singy, songy house music and melodic and like.
Can you drop like some
But it didn't
names
really
or-
get me going.
Like
Disclosure was my first festival or first show. Disclosure, they're like a big
Okay.
European house group,
I'm just trying to
and they're huge today. But like,
trying to paint a picture for the people listening.
yeah. So Disclosure, if you ever listen to them, they're this duo out of the UK. They're really renowned, and like their music's great quality, but like it doesn't really bring me out to like when I like I can listen to that on YouTube and get the same satisfaction.
Right.
Where like if I go buy a $50 ticket to their show, I'm not just like feeling it.
I get you.
So then that was my first EDM show, and then a friend took me to a bass show. Was my next one, and that's where I fell in love. I was like, oh, okay.
Do you remember what show it was or what year it was?
Yeah, it was at the Avalon in Hollywood. It was probably about like 2015. It was this group called Camo and Crooked was like the headliners. They're from Austria, drum and bass artists. Like, and I've seen them like 10 times. Like they're like rock stars. They do like crazy shows like
Sweet.
all around the world.
So did once you knew that started moving you a little bit more. I've seen at least a lot of DJs I got to meet, like either painting at festivals or through you, and I just asking questions on the side, not even on a podcast level. Like there's always like some point where you're just like you're a big fan, and then you're like I need to start making some music.
Yeah.
Producing your own stuff.
I'm starting to. Yep.
Some people jump in like right away. They know they want to do that. Other times, how did that happen for you?
Well, I started with the DJing. Obviously, just going to festivals after I fell in love, like started going to shows. And I'm like, I want to do this. And like, with the video game aspect, it's like I bought a little DJ controller. I'm like, honestly, this is kind of like video games, like this, but productive.
Right.
So channeling that, just like started DJing like 10 years ago.
So all those bells and whistles and buttons and presses, they all kind of
hitting the buttons and timing and
that's dope.
You know, trigger finger. You got to be milliseconds matter in music, like every little bit.
When you get that same reward, especially as a man of the sea, you get that same reward like when you catch that wave just right, and if it was a little too early or a little too late, that's all it needs to be totally off.
Yeah.
But when you catch it just right, it's this Nirvana like kind of channel, and that same thing happens with DJing.
It's like every little bit of time music is time, like
nature's beat.
Those literal dance. Like if you mess up by a millisecond, like you could throw off your set, but practice and usually do pretty well.
I like the PSA for the kids out there. Like if you play enough video games, you too could DJ.
Yeah, you can.
Well, you see some of those kids on YouTube, like the young DJs, they crush.
No, nowadays, I've seen them.
It's kind of neat because it wasn't always a thing, you know. Like,
I think that all the time now because like kids these days is like. Now the scene's established. It's an actual pathway that like if you wanted to set a kid up at 5 years old and then taught him the whole way.
It seems like too with this kind of internet culture and just a blanket of being able to share cool content that it could be a quicker rise to like at least any trending or quick stardom to fame if you're in the EDM category and you make just a dope beat or a dope track or something to where that could get shared like overnight versus being some prodigy that has to practice violin since they're three years old or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You could just be like, this is a dope beat. And one summer later, like, it's trending and 11 million people listen to it or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's, do you agree? Like with kids, at least looking up to like wanting to get up.
Yeah, kids just have all the tools these days because like even if you were the 3-year-old violiner that was like the best, you still have to translate that onto a program. And if you didn't grow up with the program, kids are sponges. So like if they just grow up with that stuff, which they are,
that's cool.
Then there's gonna be a lot of good music coming for sure. Like
that's good news for everybody.
Well, now this could be a pretty broad question, so feel free, if it's going to be like a novel of an answer, feel free to dive right in. But what compels you with the decision-making you do in your music, right? Like, if you had to say that you had an aesthetic, the same reason, like, why would this person make this versus what that is?
Eric's pointing at paintings in the gallery.
And they're both wonderful realizations of something, but they're completely different from one another. And it's like, as you're developing your own things that you're making, your own tracks, like what's informing that?
Most of it's, kind of just stuff I've kind of grown up with as far as like sampling. I mean, my name is Reign. I go by the Reign Maka. So a lot of like wet.
That's Reign like a king. It's
Reign. Reign Maka. So it's, it's like a whole, that in itself is a whole vibe I'm trying to encapsulate. Like
it is. You're wearing lots of purple right now.
Purple Reign. It's all. Make it rain. Like all the bits. But it's like
there's a sense of like royalty and grandeur.
But you gotta shower the people, and we're all kings and queens in our domains. Like we're trying to build the world we're trying to live in, and art and music. That's where we all usually find our like-minded individuals to like take us there and build that.
This place seems to be a little micro version of that, and I'd like to remind everybody too. I'm pretty sure. Well, Corey broke the mold. Shout out to Corky, aka Corey Clark. I think he was our first kind of all the way 3D artist when he was like blowing glass. As first as most people, because I'm a painter, most of the artists I know closely are also other painters that paint other stuff. But then Corky was the first time I had a glass blower. Now you're the first actual, I believe, like music element, musician, DJ that's on here. So it's cool that we're starting to shape out the creatives. Thanks for coming on and doing that. And it'll be cool too to next time, because you're the resident DJ, we'll have you on again. We'll just bring the decks down. And
yeah.
Tiny decks.
For sure.
This bitch.
That would. We should make the next Tiny Desk here.
I'm with it. Yeah.
Well, yo, I think I might have told you about this. I want to do like the neon sessions and do a Tiny Desk back there, lit up all by the neon with just like a few musicians.
Let's do that.
I was gonna say because this is way too big right here. Like,
Yeah.
This is so opposite of the Tiny Desk as far as space goes. But I like it, dude.
Yo, we
the
gotta
neon
stream the closing reception of this show.
Okay.
Because we should take a minute here and tell everybody. So we're sitting in the Art of Wax. What this show is not only is all the artwork, it's got to be square and it's got to be music themed. So it's like an album cover.
It was a homage to Wax. So
But we had vinyl DJs live the whole night through the opening reception night.
Yeah, all vinyl DJs that had to bring their own crates, so it was a bit old school. It's a homie Rishi's idea. We pulled it off, and all the flat artwork or the 2D artwork that's hanging around us was directly inspired by either an actual album cover or a would-be like fictitious album cover of the artist's choice and their favorite band or whatever. But they came out really nice, and it was a call to entry, and we selected maybe. I think myself, Jillian, and Rishi were the jurors, and we selected maybe 40 pieces out of like 100.
Wow.
So we really did get to pick the best of the bunch, and it worked out really well. That night too, you guys did a late night set on the patio.
We did a little function on the patio, chili cook-off / I had some friends DJ that are all killer producers, and then we flew out this guy from Denver who's been killing it, Chef Womp.
How fun do you think that
Wait,
is?
is he a chili guy or is he a DJ?
Both.
He's both. Turns out when we booked the guy, he actually went to culinary school, so he was both. He's cooking beats and food.
Just to give you guys a little more.
Yeah, I loved it.
To give you guys a little more color, the Art of Wax opening reception, we did all vinyl on inside in the interior of the gallery. We have some videos we can share too of that night. But as the art show basically wound down in the gallery and the vinyl DJ stopped, then Reign and his homies took over on the outdoor patio and then went into a whole different session, which also was accompanied by a chili cook-off. Which most of the DJs brought their own chili. So we have tell them about the chili cook-off.
So yeah, the chili cook-off, it was kind of inspired because one time at a festival this year, I made chili for my set, which was at 4:30 in the morning.
What festival?
Called Love Gathering. And then
what chili did you make that time?
Honestly,
whatever was it?
Everything but the kitchen sink. And it was good. But 4:30 in the morning on the Sunday, like when everyone's out of food and it's cold in the desert, like
the spoons,
and there's some good beats. Yeah, so then like I had people coming up to my shows like, oh, I still remember that chili, and I'm like, okay, I gotta do a chili based event. That's how the origin story of that one.
You hit them with a wrinkle, and that was neat too because the music was changing over and the crowd was shifting from inside the gallery, like / art show vibe, to out on the patio, just straight up bass show vibe. Mm-hmm. And the chili was almost done, but you still could get a bowl if you wanted.
Yeah. We're trying to drain it.
Yeah, there were some visuals, and you had some vendors out there. You want to shout out any friends or DJs?
Yeah, well, first off, I mean, shout out to the homies at Bass Waffles. Those are most of the DJs that are like part of the collective there, so they opened it up for the homie that came down.
Is that those fuck pancake guys?
Fuck pancakes. You already know. So Bass Waffles is a show that my homies run in LA. Last Sunday of every month, free show, free waffles. So look them up.
I mean, Bass Waffles, the first time I heard it, I'm like, that's just a fantastic concept.
Oh, yeah.
So people are into it. How long has that been running?
I think it's going on like 8 years now. Nice. It's going on 8 years. Again, it's been free the whole time. It's just the community hub for people to like get their foot in the door, bring a friend, whatever, eat a waffle, hear some good tunes, you know.
And so are some of the homies in the crew.
So, I mean, it's like a 10 deep.
Oh, okay.
Cool. But like, you know, Paul and On, they go by Pee Wee and Pastry, who are also one of the co-founders of the recording studio up top here at 1980. So they're like my links to them as far as like we've been been going to those shows forever.
And then who is the homie you flew in? He was he brought the chili and the bass.
Yeah.
What was his chili? Because I remember tasting some of them. What did he came up with something spicy.
Yeah, it was like beef and like jalapenos and serranos, you said, but like
I'll give him props
the
for
rest
that.
of the seasonings, I don't know. That's on him, but yeah, I mean, probably
So it was Chef Womp? Or?
Chef Womp. Yeah,
He came out of Denver?
comes out of Denver.
Nice.
He's a young kid too. He's like 25, but like living in Denver when you're like 20 or something, you find bass music pretty early. So
Denver's a scene.
and
too,
that's
huh?
the mecca of our kind of music.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Plus they got, I mean, there's pretty much.
There's venues that are super receptive to having those kind of events, and there's a market that people want to go. And plus, you got Red Rocks, like all.
It's like Denver and Nashville are like the spots.
Yeah, Nashville's starting to.
Austin.
Yeah, definitely.
This summer you get to go a couple places since you've been traveling. Since I've known you, I've traveled quite a bit and went to some different places and stuff. And then recently you started getting on the travel bug.
Yeah.
And, specifically to go see shows. So where'd you go over there this summer? I think you were.
So, a couple I did for pleasure, and then a couple I did actually to go play. So that was cool.
Nice.
Alabama, I just got back from an event called Tipper and Friends. Tipper's we call him the godfather, essentially, of our scene.
Nice.
He's been doing it for 30 years. He's about to retire next year. So,
Dude,
a bunch of us flew out. He's the best, and his whole team is like the top tier production.
Nice.
So that was cool.
That was recent, and then
That was the most recent, and then I went to Boston this year to play music. I went to Vegas.
Had you been to East Coast before?
I've been to East Coast once, but that was just to go check it out. But this is the first time to go do the thing.
What's that scene like? Was that like a little pub, or was it like a micro venue, or?
Yeah, just a small venue. Yeah, it was good though, receptive, for sure. There's a East Coast. I think honestly, they love it. They love it all.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they're pretty receptive.
Concentration of people too. I think. You're
Yeah,
gonna find a crowd if you got some game.
yeah, definitely. And the people that are in the know, they're ready.
And then what was the other one? We were like Minnesota and Missouri. Or
I did Minnesota for my first time in the Midwest, and that was for this festival called Infrasound. I was helping this DJ, and his name's Killsmith, but he does a side project called Grillsmith, where he barbecues while he DJs. So we made 550 tacos and fed about 7,000 people for the whole day, for 3 hours on the grill
There is just
while
that.
DJing.
I love the crossover here. Dude.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was that much of that in the scene. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Feed the people. Yeah.
The food, that's that's the new tip. We're trying to incorporate the whole community vibe. People just roll up and renegade their barbecues too, and
Trying to chip in.
yeah.
We got you, dude. We got extra coals.
Yeah, we got the huge, they'll have huge tri-tip, or someone will do a crawfish boil, or random stuff, it's just going off.
It's kind of like at the burn, if you're hungry and you don't know what's on the next block. It might be grilled cheese, or it might be, like you said, crawfish, or
I guess
something
something.
wild.
Yeah.
What? So a few years ago, we were at the same camp in the burn at the Lens.
The Lens.
Perspective. You came out there and helped with us, and I think that was your first time.
That was my
there.
first burn, yep.
Nice.
And as far as music goes, or just the scene, describe how your perspective was, just in general, at the burn. Just pretty fun, or?
That particularly music-wise was top tier. They had the camp called Mount Everest, but that was their last year. They haven't returned yet, but that's all the Denver people that Friday night was A1. But as far as the rest of the festival, it's not really a music festival, so we didn't go didn't go hounding sets. That's not you just kind of get lost in the sauce out there.
Definitely not festival vibes. I'm just talking about the general culture,
Oh, for sure.
non-music. What'd you have fun doing, exploring in the city? On the
All of it. I mean, it was wild how they just build a whole city in the middle of nowhere. 60,000 people plus,
Did you have any highlights? Did you get to the Foam Dome that day we went?
Foam Dome was, definitely a highlight. Yeah, I can't beat that, especially after day 3 or 4 and you're feeling a little crusty, but
Yeah.
it's human car wash.
That was dope. Good times. What do you got coming up, Reign? I know we got this right here. Tell the people about this show.
So yeah, this is a little passion project we got going on. It's called the Chronic of Gnarnia. And so part of it is the homies that have been doing sound for me here when we do our events. Synchronistic Sound, shout out to them. Bass Waffles, as I mentioned earlier, and a couple other collectives, but we're all, been in the scene for so long that we're all trying to put our heads together to start something in SoCal for like long term.
So this is taking place out in the desert.
This will be in the Mojave Desert. You got to start somewhere, It's hard to in SoCal. It's hard to get venues that accommodate like what we're trying to do.
That's
so
cool.
Start in the desert.
It is, and I've been to some distant ass things like this.
I love that term, that measurement.
Oh, buddy, up above fucking Kramer, Jesus, where the roads don't even have proper. They're like, you see the three rocks stacked on top of each other.
Yeah.
Turn left and go 2 miles, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was amazed that cell phone actually worked out there. I was blown away. But anyway, the vibe that comes from that is so cool because of that distant ass location.
Yeah.
That it's like, that all 200 or 300, if even that many of these people went through that same ordeal of getting there, not getting lost, like bringing everything they need, heat, food, and doing all that together. It's such a super community vibe once you actually get out there and get set. So yeah, it's cool to have something in town at whatever the Rockin' Music Hall is, but there's something absolutely inimitable about these two.
Oh, for sure. And it feels like kind of has like the little essence of the Burn, like where everyone chips in, everyone has that. So it is inspired.
Yeah, it's got that magic spark.
Esque, like it's grassroots. Like we're building the community from the bottom,
Sweet. And for those of you just listening, Gnarnia is spelled with a G.
Yeah, the Chronic of Gnarnia.
Like shred the gnar.
That's great.
It's a beautiful title.
I'm with it. 2 stages. It's going to be on.
Yeah,
a couple days.
2 big sound systems. It'll be 2 nights, Friday and a Saturday, and then pack out Sunday over the course of the 18th through the 20th. So
that's October. That's coming up pretty much.
It's coming up in like 2.5 weeks.
By the time we drop this, it'll be like the next day or something. We'll see. But anyway, do you have like other? I'm not sure how you were seeing like schedules a year. So I know it's like as far as art shows go. Especially here, like the Christmas show is really big, and then we just go dark.
For sure.
Do you like veg like during Christmas and holidays? Or is there
it'll die down. It'll die down definitely for those next 2 months.
So
after
is this
that,
a crescendo, do you think?
Yeah, October is like the big.
Okay.
Everything's going on in October show-wise, always. Just in entertainment in general, I feel like. But October, it'll die out a little bit for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and then probably pop back up closer to like March and April is usually like the window. There'll be like mini stuff in between, like little small like club stuff, but nothing like too major. Nothing like, especially in the desert, like it's too cold.
Nice. We so far we talked about mostly positive things, and we do on this art podcast to keep everything moving forward and moving positive. But even some of the negatives can be used as education for like younger people that are going to be DJing. Like we talked earlier about the kids and stuff that are maybe their skills are dope, but they've been safe in their room. Like maybe when they upload stuff, it's just like behind this like tag name or code name.
Yeah,
and once they get out there in venues and start dealing with promoters, and you mentioned like it's hard to get a spot, that comes with liability and litigation and responsibility and all these contracts and stuff like that. So is there any kind of like general lessons or specific things, stuff to watch out for once you do get out on the scene? Have you had any like rough experiences, like where you get out there and the promoter didn't do it right and either nobody comes or whatever, I don't know, you get a flat tire?
It's everything, there's so many variables to all of it. I mean, first off, it's like, you just got to put yourself out there. That's the first step. Like, you might be nervous or whatever, but you got to get out there and talk to promoters, show up to the shows to meet them, get the connections, and then push the brand, and then like they'll notice you eventually, and then you might open, and then you might be playing shows for free for a second, but like you just keep practicing, keep being at it, and then eventually you just keep moving up the ranks.
I like it. That's I always root for you because you're because I've known you for so long and I've watched your entire DJ career. On the big festivals when you need a microscope to read the bottom DJs, and then towards the top it gets bigger and bigger, bigger font.
Slip them in.
After having been a graphic designer, I'm like, damn, how small can I make it? But you went from being like one of the Trail of Ants to like medium and going to the top.
It's getting there. Pretty dope. It's getting there.
But that's cool. So that's like perseverance and just like taking down the chin, and it seems to be a common theme with most of the artists we've talked to.
It gets weird at like year 4 and 5. You're like, should I keep doing this? Should I keep really? And then you keep doing it, and then it just starts making more sense. Like
it's an important point. It's your first time to like bail, or just like get into the office, and
especially when you're like 24 or something. You're like, oh, all my friends are getting married or whatever. Like they're starting to get like their chick, and they're graduating college, and like they're doing that stuff, and I'm like, that's cool. Wasn't really ever for me.
That's good to know.
But,
does it seem weird? Like, so you grew up here, you're local, and you're still local. So, like, I grew up in Missouri, and Eric, you grew up here too. So, like, but I think Reign might be a little bit different, like, just because you went to what?
Newport Harbor.
Right. So
yeah.
Like, we're in Orange County, which is. It's weird to describe because we're wealthy. It's supposedly conservative, but none of us I don't think really, and not like political as much, but like as far as like this little this bubble versus, but this bubble is supposed to be like Orange County, the Orange Curtain, super conservative. Meanwhile, it's breeding all these random artists, but. You'd be a good example of someone who grew up local. I'm sure some of your homies are doctors or whatever they churn out at Newport Harbor.
It almost kind of ends up like it's like they just had like they're gonna be that the whole time. Like
had it set up. Huh?
Just had it set up.
That scripting you were talking.
It's like even if they were like kind of like mess ups in high school, was like didn't matter. Like they'll go to college, they'll get a degree, and like now they're all just like doing that path. And I run into them sometimes, and they're all rooting for me. So they're all like,
good, man.
They're like, that's cool that you just like kept on it. And like,
does sometimes ever get to see your show or something like that?
Yeah, that's cool. That's like
it's
super.
Because everybody's
that's super special too. When you're like, you don't even hit up a friend that's like you haven't seen in like 10 years, and they just show up because they like had the night off. They're like, oh, what?
Is that Reign?
Yeah. They're like, I saw your post. Like, I just finally had the time. I'm like. Dude, thank you. Hell yeah.
They saw the side pony there with it. Yeah, Scott's in the house.
There we go.
Awesome. So you're going to... Thanks for describing some of those pitfalls and points of emphasis as far as persevering and stuff.
Yeah.
Also, like, because you're local and everything's working out here, your studio's here, you're making music here, it's like your... circle of influence, but now you're traveling. Have you like been to a spot where like maybe it's like I don't know Oakland or somewhere where you're like or Denver? Like I need to actually be there, or have you considered like?
I mean, Denver would be the one as far as like
if you had to like.
If I had to
relocate or something.
I mean, Colorado's always been like the second state, but it's kind of landlocked for my taste, but it's not far away. I love going there all the time, so that's easy. But there's definitely, that's where like all the producers are, and it's in the middle of the country. So if you are starting to do all over the country shows, you're just like in the middle. You only do like 2-hour flights here and there, 3 hours instead of coast to coast, which is 6 hours.
And 2 of the hours are in a damn airport.
Yeah. From the airport to
always,
downtown, dude.
Always.
Yeah, we have a couple friends there, and it seems like they've been under construction for 30 years, I think.
Yeah, and they're going to be under construction for another 300.
That's cool. Have you? What are some international scenes? Have you got the creep? You got passport stamps or what?
I have. Well, no, I haven't gone to out of the country for a festival yet.
So like
we're gonna get there.
When I was in Berlin, it was obvious that the scene, like from like museums level, like old dead artists to like contemporary artists and cool like 2D visual artists to the music scene from reggae to drum and bass.
A lot of the best.
Berlin was happening, and you couldn't go to enough shows. Like when I was there, and I couldn't even do everything. I was couch surfing and trying to make art and stuff, but you could just tell like there was just so much information, and every hostel kids were going to see this and doing that. And even the parks, the parks are going off with free shows.
Yeah.
I definitely recommend it. Do you already know, like,
it's just in the UK, a lot of it's like kind of just mainstream culture because like a lot of the best producers are from there, and like, but like the market's kind of weird over there. They'd rather play here almost because like it's such a saturated market, and like it's pretty easy to navigate, is what I've heard.
You could just flip it though and just be like, the maker's coming.
Yeah. No, I mean, if your music can translate as a U.S. person to the U.K., that's like when you know you made some good stuff, like for sure. And that's where most of my inspiration comes from, anyways. But
no, some of the old heads over there that like still get down, or some contemporaries that you. I
mean, like Scream is one of them. He's like OG dubstep guy, but like Caspa, if people know that. But like there's other guys like Alex Perez is one that's pretty current right now. He's been doing it up, making some good stuff.
Nice. Tell the people how they can like see either some of your videos or hear some of your tracks and some of your sets and stuff. Like, let them know. Most
of my content, if you want to follow me, of course, Reign Maka, ReignMaka on Instagram, also SoundCloud. But, if you follow me on Instagram, all my links to all that's there as well. And it's pretty easy to...
Including like performance time, schedule?
Yeah, I'll be posting flyers as far as any sort of events I have personally going on or that I'm affiliated with, even if I'm like not playing that night.
Yeah, so that's how you were in Alabama, huh? You were just going there.
Yeah, I was just going for fun. Sure. But sometimes I do like either like some behind the scenes stuff, either like stage hand stuff, and if I'm there, I'll post it up to like let people know like we're doing it.
Did because you weren't working, did Plank go with you to Alabama?
He did go to Alabama. Plank makes it through TSA, so
impressive.
Yeah.
Sketchy looking dude.
I'm sure people are like, the fuck.
They don't question. Even TSA, they don't even question it anymore. They love it.
Nice.
Yeah, they find it cute.
Yeah.
Dope. Well, let's take a break.
Take a quick break.
All right, we can do that.
All right, guys, welcome back. We're going to continue with the Reign Maka. We're going to go with a little rapid fire questions about coming up. We're in the same fantasy football league. You started 0-3, but you got the dub.
Finally.
How's it feel?
It's a little bit of weight off my shoulders, but I'm in a ditch.
So when you're in a ditch, stop digging. All right. Real quick, who's going to be your guy in your squad that's going to make you come back?
Not McCaffrey.
All right. Good answer.
Pork chili or beef?
Ooh, I'm a beef chili kind of guy, but you could throw like little bits of pork to double up.
It's a trick question, double up, so I'll give you some credit for that.
I like all the things. All right. If you can make it work, why not? Why not have a little best bit of both?
All right, local quiz, Newport Beach, Balboa Peninsula. What do they call it where the Black Ball Zone is in the summertime?
Oh, Boogie Land.
Let's go. Reign nailed it.
40th to 44th Street.
All right. Hashtag noobs.
Yep. That's the stomping ground.
Favorite Peninsula bar?
Favorite Peninsula bar? Probably Beach Ball.
Nice.
Probably Beach Ball.
Yeah, smellier the better.
Like Cassidy's is a little too grimy, but it has a time and a place.
Yeah, I heard that. Right on. Favorite city outside of California?
Outside of California? I mean, Denver's up there for sure. I think Denver probably.
Nice.
So far.
Dream travel destination.
Dream travel destination?
For any reason. It could be music or just personal or any reason.
Well, I can bring this up. I'm trying to go to Tokyo. I am going to go to Tokyo. It's a 3-year plan. It's going to be a 2-year plan since my birthday's coming up. So, yeah, I said on my 33rd birthday, I'm going to go to Tokyo and bring some homies. And whoever tags along, we're going to do a Tokyo tour.
I'm with it. Shout out to Shogo.
So that's whoever's on board for that, we're going to be trying to do that. So
that's pretty dope.
I'm Japanese, so it's like part of like tapping into my culture and roots.
Nice.
Never been to Japan, so that'd be good.
Nice. What Your birthday's on the 15th?
15th.
Nice.
So shy of 2 weeks.
Rain and my older brother Jason have the same birthday.
It's a good day.
And
He's the
Rain,
one that's in Palm Springs?
yeah, and Rain's dad and my mom have the same birthday. It's a trip.
Some kind of hologram universe, too.
That's wild as shit.
Yep.
So wait, you'll be 33?
I'll be 31 this year.
That's when
33 is, so 2 years from the 15th is when we're trying
and you'll
to
be
plan
one to
this.
go to Japan in October, you think?
I actually hear it's a really good time of year to go.
Okay, I don't know.
Yeah. There's like 2 good times a year to go. It's like cherry blossom season, which I think is April, and then October they have like some other crazy festival. It's like,
Oktoberfest.
they have something, yeah. It's like those are the 2 good times.
All right.
From what I hear, dude, like every Friday night on the Tokyo subway is like Oktoberfest.
Let's go. All right. Good thing. If when you go to Japan on your 33rd birthday fest, I hope you get to do a set there. But also, let's say you go to a karaoke bar. What do you got?
Ooh.
Because the karaoke is huge in Tokyo, right?
Yeah.
It's part of your heritage. You gotta go. You gotta throw down.
Yeah, if I'm in Tokyo, I'm usually not the first to hop on the mic for karaoke, but I guess like when in Rome, when in Tokyo, you gotta.
What would you get down with?
Ooh, what do they like out there? I don't know. Maybe some like "Take Me Away," like some old 80 cents and stuff.
Solid.
They probably like.
I was gonna suggest if you do come up short, you can always go with "Baby Got Back."
There we go.
Yeah, it's always a crowd pleaser.
Yeah,
Yeah. Any more rapid fire questions, Eric?
Ooh, rapid fire. Ed, or Eddie?
I mean, I like the tall Ed the best. Double D's good though too.
And Eddie's just a nincompoop.
Yeah, he's a scam artist, but
Yeah, he's messing with everybody.
yeah.
Okay, heard. Yeah, I feel that. Ed, tall Ed is most genuine.
Yeah, he's just he's the muscle. He's the workhorse.
All right, we're in California. Edibles or flour?
Flour for sure.
Yeah.
Flour. Edibles is too much sometimes.
Flour or dabs?
Flour for sure.
Cool.
Dabs is too much as well. I had a phase, but I had to cut
Phase
back.
it out.
They said dabs is the crack of weed, and I'm like, I love that.
I've heard the term marijuana.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everybody's just like this on the couch.
Because you're just like
listening to
locked.
Miles
Yeah,
Davis.
you're just done. It's your whole day right there.
Well, with that, I want to thank our audience. I want to thank Jill for being off camera. Did you find that? I want to thank our special guest Rain and my co-host Eric. It's been a blast.
Yeah,
that's
appreciate you guys.
Another episode of Location 1980s Art Podcast. Rain is our resident DJ, so he will be back and probably a reoccurring episode, and hopefully one of the first musicians on the new
neon sessions.
The new neon sessions.
Yeah, definitely. I'll definitely be
stay
in on
tuned.
that.
Neon sessions.
Yeah, and then I got, shout out to 1980 and letting us do our thing up top. It's been a nice little incubator for our veteran artists that we've just all been kind of working out of like our parents' garage or wherever we had to like set up shop.
Now you got the home
So now we
base.
have a little incubator, and then like with that we've already like, brought in some new like friends that have been in the scene, but like they've just never had the outlet or like. So we're putting our friends on, and they're learning how to DJ now too, and like some of them are younger, so it's like kind of important with art, like bring in the next generation to keep the scene alive. And
speaking of, for all the artists here at Location 1980 and the founder and kind of the captain 1980, we're stoked to have you here and all the energy you bring and all the crowds you've brought. It's been really seamless, and it's been a lot of fun. And I mean, to your point, you guys have brought a lot of new energy and new scene, and across it's like really cool because they're definitely coming. Like there's some distinct factors between age or clothing type or whatever at these art shows, but there's like a distinct factor of you can tell this person probably came for this reason, this person came for this reason, but then the blend is like seamless.
Yeah,
it's just like people are like, oh, I didn't even know what's this, and they're like, I didn't know you were doing this, and it's like working so well. It's really so props for you coming in and bringing a new vibe.
Yeah, it's cool to see our people kind of see what this place is about, and they're fully receptive, and they get it. They're like, yep, this is This
Yeah.
is the energy and the vibe. Like, this is for the culture. Like,
Well, thanks for coming on and thanks for being here. And we look forward to seeing what you get down. And good luck out there at Gnarnia.
oh yeah, shred the gnar.
All right, shredding it
Thank you
on.
guys. Thank you.
Thank you guys for checking it out. You can always like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. You can check out our podcast on any other platforms. And we're open to comments. We'd like to do more of these and keep you guys coming with some new content.
Yeah, let us know what sucks. Let us know what you want. Let us know what you love.
Or if you have an artist that will come on with us, be it any kind of creative umbrella, from saxophone to microphone to brush to ceramics.
Beatboxer, I don't know.
We're with it. So thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you next time.
Later.